What's going on, Jets fans? It's your boy DT coming to you on a game day afternoon. Yes, the Jets play tonight at 8 p.m. against the Green Bay Packers over at Lambeau Field. Going to be a great energy type of game. I'm really excited for Aaron Glenn's first crack at being head coach of the New York Jets under the lights in Lambeau Field. Doesn't really get much better than that. So excited for tonight. Just wanted to come on and talk about a couple things that I think we should be expecting or what to watch for in this game. I understand it's preseason, so you have to take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt, but there's a couple things that I want to see, and maybe obviously not at its full potential because nobody's a finished product on August 9th. So just some things that we can kind of glean on into this preseason game and come away with thinking, hey, we feel good about this. So I broke it down: offense, defense, coaching. We're going to go through it here. It's going to be about a 15, 20-minute show here. Offense, obviously, I want to see Fields play in timing of the offense. Engstrand talked about it. Playing through your feet is so important at the quarterback position in this offense. That means I want to see Fields getting to the back of his drop. And if the left side of the formation is the first and second read of his progression, I want to see his feet lined up in that direction, because if your feet are lined up that way, your body's going to line up that way. Your eyes should be lining up that way. Your body needs to match. Your top half needs to match your bottom half. And if your bottom half is playing wrong, it's going to come out worse on the top end, right? If your feet are in a bad platform, you're not on balance, you're going to throw a bad pass. So I want to see Fields playing in timing with his feet through the progression. I understand he might not throw the pass, right? That's kind of the thing with Justin Fields, is the confidence to see it open, throw it open, and go. Not a lot of anticipation so far throughout his career, but if you get your feet lined up in the right spots, when that wide receiver breaks, and we'll get into the wide receivers, you're going to be able to throw it and feel confident about throwing it to that wide receiver. So I want to see Fields playing with his feet, through his feet, like Engstrand was saying. With the receivers, they need to hit their landmarks, right? If it's a 6 or 7 yard in cut, you need to go 6 or 7 yards in cut. Obviously, you can get creative if the coverage dictates otherwise, but the wide receivers need to play in timing as well, because when Fields gets to the back of his drop and looks to throw, you need to be ready for that pass. So I really want to see the quarterback and wide receiver connections, see if everybody plays with good timing in the offense. Another thing about the offense in its entirety is the spacing of the offense. And what we've heard so far throughout camp is that Engstrand is doing a good job scheming players open, whether it's the tight ends or even Josh Reynolds, I believe, has gotten schemed open a couple times. So really excited to see just how Engstrand schemes things up, but playing with the spacing, proper spacing, I should say, in the offense is going to be key. So quarterback and wide receiver connections and timing, and playing with good spacing in the offense. Don't run multiple of the same routes to the same area, and it just becomes, cloudy for the quarterback to try to make a decision. So I want to see timing and spacing first and foremost with the offense. Second bullet point is blocking in the run game. I want to see this five, and I understand John Simpson's not playing. He's got the back injury. I want to see this five offensive linemen: Fashanu, Tippmann, Myers, AVT, and Membu. I want to see them collectively work together in the basic run concepts. They're probably not going to do anything crazy. It's going to be pretty vanilla for the most part. They might have a couple, not creative plays, but deeper, more technical concepts in the game that they're going to play, but it's going to be vanilla. Can the offensive line prove that they can just do the vanilla right? Because they could not do it right last year. So really excited to see the run blocking. I feel like that's going to dictate a lot of this season, right? We're going to go as the offensive line goes. If they can't protect up front for Justin Fields, obviously he's not even going to have a chance to throw it if he can make the throw. And then they're not going to be able to block up front for Breece and Braylon and Isaiah Davis. So offensive line to me is going to be a key one, but can they just do the vanilla concepts right tonight? Also, with the blocking in the run game, I do want to see the tight ends get involved. Mason Taylor's not going to play. He's got the high ankle. So you got Jeremy Ruckert, Stone Smart, Neil Johnson, Zach Kuntz, and then you have obviously Andrew Beck as your tight end / fullback. So I want to see these guys get involved. Maybe, attached to the line of scrimmage and just be like a pseudo sixth offensive lineman and just get in there and get your nose dirty in the run game. I want to see that element of it. So the blocking up front in the run game to me is going to be very crucial. And then the third one I have, which maybe it's offense, maybe it's for everybody, discipline. Like, let's limit the bonehead turnovers. That's the stuff that just makes me sick as a fan watching games where it's a 3rd and 3 and it's a manageable down and they don't know if you're going to run it or pass it. And then all of a sudden you get a false start and it's 3rd and 8 or something stupid, delay of game, and it's 3rd and 8. So I'm not a fan of the boneheaded penalties. Let's get rid of that. We've seen a little bit of it in camp, but it seems to be working itself out. And the accountability is also there. If somebody commits a boneheaded penalty like that, pull him off the field. We saw Jeremy Ruckert, that happened to him in practice. So let's not shoot ourselves in the foot. Don't kill any drives because of penalties. Quick in and out of the huddle. I think that's a huge emphasis for Aaron Glenn right now is tempo, tempo, tempo. He really wants this offense to get in and out of the huddle. Justin Fields seems to have command of the offense when he does those types of things. It's just once the play happens and post-snap, can he put it all together? And obviously you want to avoid the avoidable turnovers, right? Like, don't just chuck one up into double coverage because you think your guy might be open. Obviously, if you don't see a linebacker lurking underneath and he jumps and makes a good pick to intercept it, it's excusable to a degree. It's preseason, but don't do the avoidable turnovers. That's the ones that are going to be, crucial to regular season success, is the limiting of boneheaded penalties and avoidable turnovers. Flipping over to the defensive side, I'm intrigued by the D-line rotation, and more so not who lines up where, but when are they lining up? Like, now that Quinnen Williams isn't going to play with the calf injury, Byron Cowart might not even play with the ankle injury. You might have Derek Noddy, Jay Tufele as your starting, as your ones on the defensive interior tonight. So where do they play in order, right? Like, does Jay Tufele come out first or second team? Does, Fedarian Mathis come out as the first team run defender because he's one of your larger bodies at the interior position? Do Leonard Taylor, Peyton Page, one of those guys come up and be more of your situational pass rusher with the first team now that Quinnen and maybe Cowart aren't in? So I'm really excited to see the rotation specifically. I don't have a ton of expectations for them, but I do want to see where the coaching staff puts each player, because that could give us a better glimpse of how they feel about each player, more so than the unofficial depth chart. So the D-line rotation, and obviously at edge too, I want to see the same thing. Will McDonald, he may not play because of the back spasms. I don't know if it's been confirmed or denied by Aaron Glenn yet this week, but he may not play. So you might be looking at, Michael Clemens across from Tyler Barron or Rashad Weaver as your first string defensive edges tonight. So I'm not, the same kind of thing. Where do they play and when do they play? How long do they play? Does Tyler Barron get a lot of run because he's already looking like a second, maybe third string edge if Jermaine Johnson isn't healthy? I think there's going to be somebody who steps up and plays a decent amount of snaps on the defensive line where tomorrow we're saying, oh, wow, look how many snaps Jay Tufele got, and then look how many snaps Tyler Barron got on the defensive line. We weren't expecting that. I think somebody's going to stick out from the group in these specific positions. So looking for the defensive line rotation all night, see how they do that. And the other bullet point for the defense was takeaways. Can we please just get like one, maybe two takeaways even? I understand it's probably going to be all our backups versus most of the Packers backups and third strings, what have you. But can we just get a couple interceptions, maybe a forced fumble here or there? It seems like even in preseason, we don't have the ability to take the ball away with the older regimes. So I'm really excited to see if we can get an interception against the twos of the Packers or whatever, even if it's our ones versus their twos. I don't really care. I just want to see the Jets show an ability to, peanut punch the ball in the run game when the linebackers come up, or a safety coming downhill, making a big play, forcing a fumble, getting over the top and getting a pick, maybe a corner and one-on-one on the boundary. I want to see some glimpses of this team putting an emphasis on taking the ball away and having more ball skills. So really excited to see the takeaway stuff. And I think we should see at least one, right? Maybe two, if we're lucky, takeaways from this defense. And then special teams, I have no missed field goals inside 45 yards, please. Like, even if it's Harrison Mevis, I understand Nick Folk is probably your projected starter, but let Mevis get some run too. Like, let Folk kick for a quarter and then Mevis kick the next 3 quarters or what have you. But don't miss any kicks inside the 45. It seems like, the weather report isn't too crazy tonight in Lambeau. Maybe there's some winds, but I don't think so even. Just make your kicks, please. Just show an ability to make your kicks, especially inside 45 yards. Obviously, I don't want to see any shanked punts from Austin McNamara. I just want to see, because now he's the only punter on the roster. I don't want to do this thing where Austin McNamara has 2 bad punts out of his 4 attempts, and all of a sudden we're, going back to the free agency and picking up a punter and doing the whole thing. Like, I want to see if these are our guys or not. And one game's not going to determine that, of course, but I want to see if McNamara can, prove to be the guy now that he's the only punter in the room. And then I want more discipline. Again, it goes really all 3 phases discipline, but I don't want to see people getting out of their lanes on kickoff or punt and opening up a big hole. I don't want to see people overrunning the return man, thinking that they're just going to fair catch it, and then they end up returning it. We've seen that happen as well. So I want to see, just discipline across the board, but special teams included. And I do want to see some actual returns. I don't want to see, Xavier Gibson back there fair catching every single punt. I want to see kickoff, attempts to be returned. Obviously, if they kick it out of the end zone, you can't do anything about it. But I want to see an attempt on making kickoffs a thing for this team. I feel like that can be a spot where maybe you can get a leg up on one of your opponents this season with a big pop in the special teams unit, whether it's Nwangu or Arian Smith, Jamal Pritchard stepping up into those roles over Xavier Gibson. So really excited to see a couple of things here. There's not too much that I'm really, I have to see this or the season's cooked, right? It's August 9th. Like I said, we don't think we're going to see a finished product, but I want to see glimpses of competency, just playing in and down out smart football. And if we can, show that with the limited reps the ones are going to get, I would assume it's going to be 2 drives, maybe a third drive, if one of those 2 drives is like a quick 3 and out. So I would expect 2 to 3 drives from the starters. Nothing's been confirmed, obviously. So it's kind of just a wait and see. But hey, we're here. Football is here. This is my first game day recording video. So I appreciate all the support of everybody. The past 2 videos I did were some of my most successful videos on this channel. So another huge hat tip to everybody who's tuning in and listening, watching, and consuming my content. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Really excited to dive into the regular season now with, having my own channel and making my own content. I will be trying new things, and maybe they don't last, but the preseason is for all those different types of concepts. So you can expect a game preview on this channel before every single game. It might be the night before a game. It might be the morning of. It might be the afternoon of a Sunday primetime game, but you will get some kind of game preview, and it might be more elaborate than this. This is a preseason what to watch for, so nothing too, extravagant and detailed, but I might even do a live pre-show or a pre-game preview. So there's different avenues that I'm looking to expand in, but we're trying things. It's the preseason. Speaking of trying things, tonight, Nick Shine and I on Nick Shine's channel at The Nick Shine Show on YouTube. Go follow him. Go like, subscribe, all his content. We will be on tonight at 7:45. We'll be doing a watch along of the Jets-Packers games. First time I'll be doing any type of live viewing of the game. So pretty excited to do that. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Go check us out, 7:45 at The Nick Shine Show on YouTube. And like this video, subscribe if you're new. I'm Dylan Tereman. The Jets play football today, baby. I'm so excited. I'm fired up. You guys should be too. It's preseason, so let's not overreact, but there's going to be football, and I'm really excited. So thank you once again for tuning in, and until next time, let's go Jets.